Well, here's something that may not come as a surprise for those of you who have bought a new car or truck recently. The latest technology being rolled into these models is prone to glitches and bugs. That's the conclusion of a new survey by Consumer Reports detailing the most and least reliable auto brands.
You probably think the worst thing about buying a new car is paying the sticker price, but the real cost, that shows up months later, when you realize the car you trusted is already falling apart. Imagine spending thousands of dollars on something you believed would last years, only to watch it start rattling, leaking, and breaking down before you even hit 60,000 miles. These aren't rare horror stories. They're patterns that keep happening to regular drivers who thought they were making a smart choice. And the repair bills? They come fast, they pile high, and in some cases, they're so expensive that fixing the car costs more than it's worth. The most shocking part is that these cars aren't obscure brands you've never heard of. They're sitting on dealer lots right now, being advertised as family-friendly, fuel-efficient, or even luxury. On the surface, they look like safe bets, but beneath the shiny paint and glossy ads, the engineering tells another story. A story of weak transmissions, fragile engines, and components designed to fail just after the warranty expires. And once that happens, you're the one left holding the bill, trapped in a cycle of repairs that can wipe out your savings. The Nissan Rogue is everywhere. You see it in suburban driveways, crowded freeways, and rental car lots. It's marketed as the perfect mix of affordability, efficiency, and family-friendly comfort. But what most people don't know is that this popular SUV hides one of the most expensive automotive traps you could ever fall into. The core issue is its transmission, a CVT, or continuously variable transmission, that Nissan proudly installed across most of its lineup. In theory, it should make driving smoother and save gas. In practice, it often fails long before a normal transmission would, sometimes well under 60,000 miles. Owners report sudden jerking, high-pitched whining, and even total loss of power while driving on the highway. Imagine merging onto traffic only for your car to simply stop responding. That's not just frustrating, it's dangerous. And when it fails, the repair bills are brutal. A replacement CVT can easily cost $4,000 to $6,000, which is shocking when you realize the entire car itself may only be worth $10,000 on the used market. Even worse, mechanics say that replacing the transmission once doesn't guarantee the problem won't come back. There are countless stories of Rogue owners who had their transmission replaced under warranty, only to need another 130,000 miles later. Some families have essentially paid the price of a second car just to keep the Rogue running, only to watch it break down again. Nissan has even faced lawsuits over these issues, but despite settlements and extended warranties, used car buyers often end up with no protection at all. But the Rogue's nightmare isn't just about the CVT. Its engine has a dark side too. Mechanics have documented premature bearing failures that can cause catastrophic engine damage, sometimes leading to complete seizure. When this happens, the engine locks up without warning, leaving the vehicle undrivable and the owner staring at a repair bill that can exceed the value of the car itself. For a vehicle that's supposed to represent reliability and family safety, this reality is devastating. And here's the kicker. Nissan kept selling the Rogue in massive numbers, even as complaints piled up year after year, which raises a chilling question. If the Rogue has these problems, what about its so-called luxury sibling? On the surface, the Infiniti QX50 looks like the Rogue's polished, premium sibling. Sleek styling, leather interiors, and a badge that whispers luxury make it an attractive option for buyers who want something more upscale. But beneath that glossy finish is the same fragile DNA, and in some ways, it's even worse. The QX50 shares Nissan's problematic CVT, which means it inherits the same slipping, overheating, and early failure issues. For a luxury SUV, drivers expect smoothness and refinement. Instead, many owners have described the driving experience as unpredictable and nerve-wracking, with transmissions failing sometimes before they've even paid off the car. The disappointment doesn't stop with the transmission. The QX50's engine has its own list of headaches, with reports of excessive oil consumption and early wear. This means that even if the transmission somehow survives, the engine itself can drain your wallet with repair bills that soar into the thousands. And unlike the Rogue, which at least comes with a lower sticker price, the Infiniti charges buyers a premium just to deliver the same mechanical flaws. For many, it's the ultimate betrayal, spending luxury money only to end up with the same issues that plague budget buyers. What makes it sting even more is that Infiniti markets the QX50 as a sophisticated choice, targeting professionals and families looking to step up from mainstream SUVs. But when the warranty runs out, owners often find themselves buried under costs that feel anything but premium. It's a cruel irony. The car designed to project status and success can quickly become a financial burden that eats away at savings. And if a brand like Infiniti, built on the promise of luxury, can't deliver basic reliability, it begs the question, what about other SUVs in the same family? Few vehicles carry the kind of rugged reputation that Jeep does. The Wrangler is marketed as indestructible, a go-anywhere machine built for adventure. The Grand Cherokee sells itself as the refined, family-friendly counterpart, promising comfort without sacrificing capability. But peel back the marketing, and you'll find a shocking reality. Both of these Jeeps have a history of serious reliability flaws that can bring them to their knees far sooner than owners ever expect. Transmission problems, electrical glitches, and engine failures have all plagued these models, leaving owners stranded and frustrated. For a brand that thrives on its tough image, the truth is a lot less heroic. One of the most alarming issues lies in the engines. The Pentastar V6, found in many Wranglers and Grand Cherokees, has been known to suffer from cylinder head failures, often well before 100,000 miles. Repairs can easily climb above $3,000, and in some cases, owners face complete engine replacements costing over $7,000. Add in fragile electronics and shoddy build quality, door locks failing, infotainment screens freezing, sensors malfunctioning, and you have vehicles that feel engineered to fall apart. For many, the Jeep dream of conquering trails and long road trips quickly morphs into a nightmare of repeat shop visits and eye-watering repair bills. What's worse is the pattern. Many critics argue that Jeep has leaned too heavily on its reputation while cutting corners in design and materials. Owners describe their Wranglers and Grand Cherokees as fun toys that feel disposable, great for a few years, but never built to last. And once the warranty clock runs out, those dreams of adventure turn into a relentless cycle of breakdowns. For buyers who trusted the Jeep name, it's a bitter lesson. Sometimes the most legendary brands hide the most fragile machines. And the scary part? Jeep isn't alone. Other everyday sedans carry problems that land them in the junkyard even faster. The Chevrolet Cruze was once GM's big play in the compact car market, promoted as affordable, efficient, and perfect for daily commuting. But in reality, it's one of the most common sedans you'll find broken down before its time. Owners frequently report catastrophic engine problems, with some models suffering from blown head gaskets, cracked pistons, or total engine failure before even reaching 100,000 miles. Add in recurring water pump failures and turbocharger issues, and the Cruze turns into a money pit disguised as a budget car. What was supposed to be dependable transportation often becomes a constant stream of repair invoices. The Kia Optima tells a similarly grim story. For years, Kia fought hard to build a reputation as a reliable, budget-friendly alternative to Japanese sedans, but hidden beneath that value pitch are engines that burn oil at alarming rates and seize far too early. The infamous Theta 2 engines, used in many Optimas, were recalled after widespread reports of metal debris in the oil leading to sudden engine death, sometimes while driving at highway speeds. For unlucky owners, the only solution was a full engine replacement, which could cost more than the car's market value. Even with recalls and warranty extensions, many drivers found themselves battling dealerships and waiting months for replacements. What ties the Cruze and Optima together is how quickly they end up in junkyards compared to their rivals. Studies have shown that these models are scrapped at higher rates than most sedans of the same class, largely because their repair costs outpace their resale value. In other words, the moment something major goes wrong, it's cheaper to walk away from the car than to fix it. And that's the ultimate insult to buyers who thought they were saving money by choosing one of these models. Unfortunately, the problem doesn't stop with affordable sedans, because even high-priced luxury and electric cars can leave owners broke and broken down. Luxury is supposed to mean peace of mind, but with certain Cadillacs, it can mean the exact opposite. Models like the Cadillac ATS and CTS have faced widespread reports of timing chain failures, electrical glitches, and transmission breakdowns, all hitting well before the 100,000-mile mark. Repair bills aren't just high, they're astronomical. A failed timing chain can set an owner back over $5,000, while electrical gremlins lead to recurring visits to the dealership with no clear solution. For a brand that once symbolized American prestige, The reality for many Cadillac drivers is a constant drain on their wallets. The badge might look refined, but the ownership experience is anything but. Then there's the world of EVs, where Rivian and Tesla have been hailed as innovators shaking up the auto industry. But being cutting edge doesn't necessarily mean being reliable. Rivian's trucks and SUVs, still new to the market, have already been dogged by reports of failing suspension components, water leaks in the cabin, and software malfunctions that can leave drivers locked out of critical features. Meanwhile, Tesla has become infamous for its inconsistent build quality. Owners complain about misaligned panels, fragile interiors, and more worryingly, major battery and drivetrain problems that can cost tens of thousands of dollars to repair once the warranty ends. The dream of high-tech motoring often collides with the nightmare of being stranded by issues no neighborhood mechanic can fix. What makes this trend even scarier is the financial trap it sets. With brands like Cadillac, Rivian, and Tesla, buyers aren't just paying $30,000 or $40,000. They're often spending $60,000 to $100,000 on vehicles they expect to last. But when problems hit, repair costs scale up with a price tag, sometimes reaching the point where even wealthy owners flinch. It's proof that spending more doesn't guarantee safety from reliability nightmares. In fact, these high-end vehicles can leave owners even more exposed, because the cost of a single failure can wipe out years of savings. And if luxury and EV giants can't deliver dependability, what does that say about the broader direction of the car industry? So why are so many cars failing earlier than ever before? The answer lies in the way modern vehicles are built. Automakers have chased fuel efficiency, weight reduction, and profit margins, often at the expense of long-term durability. Where engines once relied on solid metal parts, many now use lighter alloys and plastic components that simply don't stand the test of time. Add in turbochargers and high-compression designs meant to squeeze more power out of smaller engines, and you've got machines running hotter, harder, and wearing out faster. What used to be a 200,000-mile power plant is now struggling to make it past 60,000. Electronics add another layer to the problem. Cars today are essentially rolling computers, packed with sensors, modules, and software that control everything from fuel delivery to seat comfort. While this technology looks impressive in a brochure, it creates endless points of failure in real life. One malfunctioning sensor can trigger a cascade of warning lights, limp mode driving, or even total shutdowns. And unlike older cars, where a local mechanic could fix almost anything, modern vehicles often require specialized diagnostic tools and dealer-only software updates. That means higher costs, longer wait times, and a growing sense of helplessness for the average owner. And perhaps the most disturbing trend is that many of these failures aren't accidents. They're by design. Critics argue that manufacturers know their cars will fail just outside warranty limits, locking buyers into cycles of repairs, replacements, or repeat purchases. It's a strategy some call planned obsolescence, and it explains why cars once known for lasting decades now feel disposable after just a few years. Whether it's a fragile transmission, a failing engine, or a glitchy infotainment system, the message to consumers is the same. Spend more, fix often, and come back for another car sooner than you should. Which leaves us with a big question. If so many models are breaking down this fast, how can buyers protect themselves from financial disaster? Looking across all these cars, one thing becomes clear. The badge on the hood doesn't guarantee reliability anymore. From budget sedans that end up in junkyards before 100,000 miles to luxury SUVs and EVs with repair bills in the tens of thousands. Too many vehicles today are built to fail sooner than expected. And when they do, it's the owner who gets stuck with the stress and the financial fallout. The lesson is simple. Don't let slick ads or shiny paint blind you to what really matters. A car should be a long-term partner, not a ticking time bomb waiting to bankrupt you. Do your research, trust the numbers, and avoid the traps that have burned so many drivers already. Because the wrong choice won't just cost you miles, it'll cost you peace of mind.